The script implements a TFT for time series forecasting on load, solar, and wind dataset. We start with the import libraries and then we define the paths. We go into the configuration where we set the input window as 168 and horizon as 24. Then we go into the track configurations where we define hyperparameters for each track. Each track has different set of features and so they behave differently. So we have to define hyperparameters for each of them separately. Now going into the model architecture, we start with a gated residual network where we define each block with a linear layers and then gating using a sigmoid function and a residual connection for stable learning. Then we go into the variable selection network where we process each features independently and assign weights using softmax. So the model learns which features are important. In the TFT model, the forward pass starts with a variable selection network, then passes through LSTM for temporal patterns, followed by multi-head attention to capture global dependencies. Finally, the last time step is passed through a linear layer to predict the next 24 hours values. Next, we go into the build sequences where we create input-output pairs using a sliding window over time series data, keeping the input data in 3D format. The naive baseline OOF function predicts using lag features like lag24, which acts as baseline. Then, in the run TFT OOF function, we perform walk forward validation using time series splits. For each fold, data is normalized using only training data, then trained using MSCLOs, Adam optimizers, and learning rate scheduling. Early stopping is used to stop training when validation loss does not improve. After training, predictions are stored as out-of-fold outputs and compared with baselines using matrices like MAE and R squared in the evaluate function. Finally, the main output function runs this full pipeline for all tracks and saves the model, predictions and plots. Overall, this code builds a complete leakage-free training and evaluation pipeline for TFT-based time series forecasting.